So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Simply Carolyn. Y'all, today I'm doing something quick and delicious for our Sunday dinner. It's a lasagna, and the ingredients I will be using is the no-bake lasagna shells. This is a box that I had, and I have another whole box that I'll also be using. I'll also be using, in which some of my steps I've already done. Let me just go through with the ingredients. It's ground beef, well, the no-bake noodles, ground beef. I used a 12 ounces of tomato paste, 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes, and 12 ounces of tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce. I like Prego, so I use the pepper, onion, and I think it was mushrooms. And that one, I just got the small jar of that. I also have a jar of marinara sauce, and that's just to help with the filling in between. Most people use ricotta cheese. I don't like ricotta, so I have cottage cheese. I use cottage cheese with the small curds. And this is the 1 pound container. So what I did with that, I mixed 1 egg with that, and that's going to be like my filler in between. And also I have a block of cream cheese, and I have 2 packs of mozzarella cheese. I'm also using a bell pepper and an onion, which has already been diced. And with the tomatoes, I've already made my sauce here. It's a lot, y'all, but my dish is pretty big. What I don't use for this dish, I will use it for lasagna. Not lasagna, spaghetti. Forgive me, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get this put together. I'm going to try not to make this video so long. I'm going to show you my first couple of layers, and then I will stop the recording because I don't want to be boring standing here showing you every layer. So first, what I'm going to do is add meat sauce to the bottom of my dish. So we're going to start with that. And it's just a thin layer of meat sauce here. It doesn't have to be a very thick layer, but that's going to help coat the dish on the bottom. Oops. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. It's actually Sunday here at my home. And y'all, I'm always in the kitchen on Sunday. Seems like all day. Today I just wanted to make something quick, easy, and good so that I don't have to be in the kitchen all day. So this was pretty easy. What I did, I sliced my bell pepper and my onion, and I sauteed them till they were translucent. Then I added my tomato products, all except for the marinara, and I simmered that until it was done. So while I was in church, we're still doing virtual church. While I was in church, I went ahead and had this simmering. So now I got that 1 layer down. I'm going to start off with my layer of noodles. And these are the no-bake kind. As I mentioned before, you do not have to boil these. You just lay them out in your dish accordingly, and they cook as your lasagna cook. Just lay them out like so. You may have to overlap some just to make sure that everything is covered. If you need to break them, go right ahead and do so. It's not going to hurt anything. So with that one, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 5 noodle pieces. All right, so I got that down. After my noodles, I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of meat sauce, like so. It doesn't have to be a thick layer, but just spread it out really good. You want to make sure that all of your noodles are covered though. I said, I'm just going to show you one of my layers, and then I'm going to go off camera and prepare the rest. And I'll be back once I'm ready to put it in the oven. I love lasagna. My son and my husband do as well. I don't cook it often because, y'all, this is an expensive dish if you don't have any of the ingredients on hand. Luckily, I had some of mine on hand, and some of them was on sale this morning when I went in the store before service. But it's definitely good. It's something that you can freeze if you don't eat it all. Bring it back out and it's still going to be good. So, I'm sorry about hitting the dish too, y'all. Please forgive me. Sometimes you can't help it. So yeah, I'm just going to make sure that all of that is spread out good. You don't want none of your noodles showing or exposed whenever you're putting this together. Right. Y'all, this is very meaty. Okay, so next I'm going to be adding some of my mozzarella cheese. Where's my mozzarella? Here it is. And this was also on sale, which was a good thing this morning. I got 2 packages of this. They were on sale at Food Line, 2 for $5. So now I'm just going to go in with a nice layer of mozzarella. Just want to spread it on there as evenly as possible. You can put as much or as less as you like. I like the cheese, so I'm going to be pretty generous with it. Alright, now my next step is going to be to add a layer of this cottage cheese and egg mix, and this is what it's looking like. Like I said, I put I added 1 egg, and I'm just going to pour it in there like so. So that was about half of my mixture there. You're going to spread it out really good. Make sure everything is covered nicely. Need a little bit more, just to make sure everything is covered and coated. There we go. On my hand there, let me get that off. Alright, so spreading that out. Nice, and you want everything nice and even. Okay. Now, I'm going to go in with my cream cheese that I've already sliced. So I'm going to put half on this layer, and it'll all, it was at room temperature, y'all. It will all melt in with everything while it cooks, so no worries on that. So I have it cut into 10, and this is a pretty big dish. I have it cut into 10 blocks, so I'm putting 5 between each layer. What I'm doing now is just spreading it out here. All right. There we go with that. And now I'm going to add some of my marinara on top of the cheese. You just want to do dollops. And this is a brand, this is the Bertolli brand. I've never used that one before, but I'm sure it's good because Bertolli is a good brand. And y'all, you can use any kind of cheese that you like. Use what's in your refrigerator. You don't have to use, if you have some cheese that you in your refrigerator that you want to get rid of, go ahead and dump that in. It's all cheese and it will be all good. And of course, I'm making a mess here. So let me clean that up. All right, so this is my first layer here. So y'all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause my camera, finish my next layer, because I think it's going to be 2. My dish is so wide, I don't think it's going to hold, well, I know it's not going to hold 3. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and load up my next layer, and then I'll be back. Y'all stay tuned. Okay guys, so for sake of time, I have already finished putting this lasagna together. I have it on another baking tray because it's a pretty big dish, and I know sometimes when you start cooking it'll bubble over, so I want to prevent that. And if it do, you know, boil over a little, it will catch this foil and not in my oven. So I'm gonna bake this for anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. I have my oven already preheated, so guys, at the 30-minute mark I will come back and check it, see if it's done. If it's not, I'll let it go, and I'll let it go and continue cooking, and I'll just keep checking it until it's done. So y'all stay tuned. And I also have some biscuits that I'm going to bake, but I'm going to do that last because I'd rather for the biscuits to be good and hot. I've already made some corn on the cob, so that's what this meal is going to be. Lasagna, corn on the cob, biscuits, and I'm going to also make a banana nut cake or a nut loaf, so y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all, this is the end result of my lasagna. I'm going to turn my camera around and bring you guys back in. Bear with me just a moment. All right, this is it. And I just took it out of the oven, so I'm going to have to let it cool at least for 30 minutes. And then I will cut it. When I get ready to cut it, I'll bring you guys back. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my biscuits in the oven so they can cook, and I'll come back and let y'all see the final result. All right, you guys, so I'm back and I'm getting ready to mix up my banana bread. I'm gonna give you guys the ingredients here, and I am using 4 overripe bananas, because they're pretty small. The recipe calls for 3.5, but they were pretty small, so I'm using 4. I also used a teaspoon of salt, and with my salt I have in this bowl here, along with my flour. I just did that to make it, you know, so that I won't use so much time explaining. All right, so that is 2 cups of flour, and in that I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I also have my 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. That's considered my dry ingredients. To that I will be adding in my 1 cup of walnuts, but y'all, my mom doesn't have teeth, so what I did was I kind of chopped them finely, and I'm just going to dump that in that as well because it's considered dry ingredients. I have 1 stick of butter here that's room temperature. I also have 1 cup of white sugar. I have a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and it's packed. What else do I have? I have 2 eggs that I have scrambled, and the reason it looks like that is because I did my vanilla using 1 tablespoonful of vanilla. I also used, it calls for banana extract, but I don't have banana extract, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I did also use a teaspoonful of cinnamon, and I added 1/8 of a teaspoonful of nutmeg. My grandma used to cook with nutmeg, so I tend to follow what she do. So first what I'm going to do is go ahead and dump this 1/2 cup of brown sugar in there along with my white sugar. And y'all, I'm doing this way so that I can save some time. So these ingredients over here is going to be considered my dry ingredients. These are going to be my wet. So once I get this mixed up so that you don't hear the sugar granules, then I'm going to go ahead and dump my mashed bananas in there. So y'all, let's go ahead and get this started. And what you're going to do, or what you want to do, is mix this, and I'm using my rubber spatula. You're going to want to mix that until you don't hear the sugar crystals. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bore y'all with that part of it. I'm going to go ahead and get it all incorporated, and then when I come back, I'll be adding in my eggs. I'll give my dry mix a good stir, and then we're going to combine them together and put them in a greased and floured pan. So y'all stay tuned. Okay, y'all, so I'm back. I have thoroughly combined my chopped nuts, my flour mixture all together. So, and now this is my butter and my sugar, my white sugar and my brown sugar, considered my wet ingredients. And I'm just going to go ahead and add my bananas to that I've mashed. Just going to kind of fold it in. All right, there we go. And you just want to mix that until it's well combined. I have my oven preheated to 350. So now all that's left to do is just combine these two. And what I'm going to do with my wet ingredients is just fold it in to my dry ingredients. I have already greased and floured my pan. So yeah, that's what it's looking like now. After you get everything mixed in. Alright, so let's go ahead. I know I sound like I'm singing. Let's go ahead and mix these two together. And then we're just going to fold everything in and get it in the pan. We're going to bake it. Well, I don't really want to give you a time because all ovens are different. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shoot for 30 minutes. And then I'll check it after 30 minutes and just keep testing it to see when it's actually done. Okay? So all of that. And you don't want to over mix this. You just want to kind of fold it in until it's all combined. And this is going to be thick, y'all. It's supposed to be thick. So if you make this and you see that it's thick, don't feel like you messed something up. It's supposed to be like that. If it's runny, you probably did something wrong. Take your time. Get everything mixed and well incorporated. And then when you're baking this, you're going to want to fill your pan at least halfway because it will rise. So you don't want to overfill it. Just know that it will rise. And with this, you're just mixing it until you don't see any more of the white flour in there. Then you know it's all combined. Y'all, it smells so good. This is my first time actually doing one from scratch. I normally get the mix in the box and just put what I want, you know, add to it. But this time I decided to do it from homemade. The one that's in the box, I like the Krusteaz brand. It is pretty good. But y'all, nothing is never as good as homemade. And make sure you stir from the bottom. You don't want to see any white pieces in the bottom of it or in the middle of it. So make sure you stir, stir, stir. And see, I just flipped it and I saw some flour in between there. So I'm going to keep doing that. And like I said, you're going to pull it down from the sides and you're going to stir from the bottom, so you'll be sure to get all the little dry patches that's in there. Definitely don't want that. So I think I got that done. I don't see any more flour, dry flour patches. Yep, I believe I got it, y'all. Again, you got to stir from the bottom. And this is the consistency that it is. See how thick that is? So let me grab my pan and get my batter in here. As you can see, I've thoroughly greased my pan with butter and flour. So now, yeah, let's get this in there. Oh, it's heavy too, y'all. Goodness. Tell you how good it smells. Ooh, my goodness. Yep, I think my pan is gonna, it may be a little more than halfway full, but y'all, it's not enough to make another one, so I'm gonna go for it. It's just gonna be big. Oh my God, it smells good. It's going to taste even better. And instead of me using plain flour, y'all, I actually used my Swan Don's cake flour because, hey, you make cakes with it. So you can make a cake with the cake flour or regular flour. So this one I used my Swan Don's. It's pre-sifted, but I sifted it again. Okay? Choice is really up to you. You don't have to, but I did. Especially after I added some of my other dry ingredients to my flour. I went ahead and pre-sifted it because I want everything to be evenly coated. All right. So this is what it's looking like. Tapping it to get some of the air bubbles out of it. And now I'm going to go ahead and get it into my oven that is preheated to 350 degrees. And like I said, I'm gonna let it cook for about 30 minutes and then I'll check it. If it's still soft in the middle, then I'll let it go for a little bit longer. So y'all stay tuned, I'll be back. All right, y'all. My nut loaf is out of the oven. Oh, it's sliding, so it's ready to come out. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit more and then I'm going to slice it. I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think would love seeing it. If you're not already a member of my Simply Carolyn family, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button and tap all so you're aware each time I upload a new video. I love you all with the love of Jesus. Y'all stay safe and stay blessed. Good night.